wrapped around him. I'm sure that's something to keep his back warm, because he's dealt with back injuries. Kentucky's only played 7 games with a full roster this year, which is impressive considering they've had 7 top 15 wins. The challenge that they have, it's an unforgiving league. And the gauntlet of a team like Vanderbilt who is fighting for their lives to stay in the NCAA tournament. They realize the importance of a win like this tonight in Rupp Arena.
Cats start tonight 4 of 6 from deep. And a perfect 6 of 6 at the free throw line. 21 minutes in. Vanderbilt just 1-4 since the victory over Kentucky in Nashville. All 4 of those losses they had in the second half. Carey against Williams, great matchup. And Williams won that battle and claims the rebound.
Oh man, basketball down there. The 7-footer continued to hold his ground without fouling.
Take it away. Mid-range is there.
He's a guy that I could see going on the run during March. He's already had a great conference schedule. We talked about, in fact, 25 straight games with double-digit points. But when he's making shots from the perimeter, he's as difficult to guard as anybody in the SEC.
And Kentucky has picked up its pace defensively. Vanderbilt shooting 69%, but trailing by 6. And that's because Kentucky's shooting 80% to start. Oway picks up his dribble outside to Williams.
Good defensive transition that time by the Commodores. I thought Kentucky had numbers.
Perry draws the double team. And the pass is picked off by Edwards. And Trent Noah with the miscue. Trying the skip pass.
Freshman mistake, he saw it, and then Vanderbilt able to close the gap.
Edwards a quick trigger. Noah the rebound. Perry outside to Noah. The Mountain Mamba. Not this time.
You were waiting on that one. You had that in your back pocket, didn't you, Roy?
It's been fun to watch that whole social media surge the last couple of weeks. Noah gets more minutes, more points, and he has taken advantage. Edwards, the pump fake, forced up the 3 and drains it.
He made that same play down the stretch against Zakai Ziegler with about 2 or 3 minutes left to go in the basketball game in their loss at Tennessee. One of the best in the conference at shot faking, still gathering, and knocking down the 3.
We'll say it's a long 2 for now. Halfway home in the first. Amador from downtown.
That's the first person Mark Byington talked to us about. He said, man, number 15 has been shooting the cover off of the basketball, and you see double digits in 6 of his last 8 games.
Jalen Carey open. Back iron, Perry grabs it.
That's a tough one if you're Jalen Carey.
And we talked to Mark Byington this morning. The number he gave us in terms of Kentucky threes, got to hold them under 10. They already have 5. 11 minutes in. Perry tried to make it 6 and could not.
I like the push here by the Commodores.
Lob to Collins under control. Nothing easy about that, and it was a smooth finish.
Pretty basketball. They need more of that. The quicker this pace is, the more it plays to the advantage of Vanderbilt. I like Kentucky running more of their sets in this game.
Amador, short, Tanner. Skies for the board. Now the freshman taking off. Here's Edwards, leading scorer, and the bounce pass. The rotation, Nickel. And Carey sandwiched between Noah and Williams. Draws the foul. And a reminder, women's basketball takes over the SEC Network every Thursday. Coming up tomorrow, number 6, South Carolina back in action against Arkansas at 7 Eastern. Georgia and 7th-ranked LSU from the PMAC at 9 o'clock Eastern. That is tomorrow here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. 2 teams fighting for number 1 seed in the upcoming NCAA tournament. Kim Mulkey's Tigers, Dawn Staley's South Carolina Gamecocks.
Yeah, 2 outstanding coaches. And how about the addition of Vic Schaefer, the Texas Longhorns in the SEC this year, playing outstanding basketball.
McLaughlin open, short. Madison Booker's made a big difference for Big Schaefer this season down in Austin. And a huge win against South Carolina. What was it now? 2 weekends ago. Lead remains at 5. Owe from 17. Well, of course, undersized as Vanderbilt is, McLaughlin and Carey get their fair share of rebounds.
Sure. They're going extremely small right now, really with Chris Magnon playing the power forward position.
Hogar, the runner, and was shoved by Owe. Commodores shooting 2 when we come back. The lead is 5 for number 17, Kentucky.
No alarms tell me when to snack. Nice try, Kevin. So my advice? Stop looking for advice. And if you want to grab a snack, grab a snack. Who's hungry?
Depend keeps you drier than ever, so you can say yes to more than ever.
Yes! Yes! No.
Depend. The only thing stronger than us is you.
The SEC and SEC Network thank our official corporate sponsors for their continued support of our student athletes during every championship season.
Wow, she just dropped dime.
See, toe fungus is not just an embarrassing cosmetic problem. It can also be dangerous. Even small spots can spread and get worse. Drugstore remedies and prescriptions just don't get to the root cause of your fungus. That's why this simple 2-minute hack has gone viral. You can check it out at crystalflush.com. It works by deeply penetrating and disrupting the cellular structure of the fungus. Thousands are literally wiping their fungus clean and showing off their toes again. And now you can try it totally risk-free. Go to crystalflush.com.
Guys, stop dressing like this. Dress like this. This is the perfect polo for any occasion, and the comfort and stretch are unmatched. The signature firm semi-spread collar adds a touch of sophistication and class, but still gives you that everyday comfort with the relaxed fit. Easily elevate the look by throwing on one of Collars & Co.'s sweaters, and because of the design of the polo, it'll look as if you're wearing a dress shirt underneath. Head over to Collars & Co. now to elevate your style and comfort. Use code TV for 20% off site-wide at collarsandco.com.
Well, it's nearing the end of February, close to March. By now you understand just how deep and how impressive the SEC has been this year. But Oklahoma, Arkansas among the last 4, and Georgia now has fallen out of the field of 68, according to our good friend and yours, Joe Lenardi. You look at the overall list of teams and who's fighting for a number 1 seed. Auburn, Alabama, Florida are right there. Tennessee wants to be there. And for Vanderbilt, they're kind of on that bubble. They've got some impressive wins, 2 over top 10 teams, but they're at the bottom. The quad 1 games, 2-7. If you'd like to get another quad 1 victory or 2 tonight, is an opportunity against Kentucky Fish.
Sure, they'll have ample opportunities to get quad 1 wins in the SEC.
After review, that shot is a 3-point shot. Vanderbilt will receive 1 point.
So that was Edwards at the top of the key moments ago.
Sure. And obviously you saw that the committee projected Kentucky as a 3 seed currently. We mentioned earlier they have 7 wins against the AP top 15. They've got as good a wins as anybody. But one thing that I noticed when we showed our bracketology was the fact that Georgia was out. And it's unbelievable that they're out if they had a win against Rick Pitino and St. John's, just to show the depth of the league. Oklahoma still trying to get more wins, with wins over the likes of Michigan, Louisville, Arizona. And so it shows the depth of the SEC this year. Every game is an opportunity, but every game is also an unbelievable challenge.
That point on OU, Porter Moser's team, 3-10 in the SEC, still listed in the field, according to Joe Lenardi, because of those 3 non-conference victories you just spoke of, and that's going to go a long way on Selection Sunday for the Sooners. Too strong for Owe. The Cats have cooled off, 1 for their last 6. Mignon a steal. He averages nearly 2 per game. And McLaughlin lays it in quickly.
And that's exactly what I mean. In this game, the quicker the pace, the faster the more opportunities for the Commodores to get breaks, the better advantage they will have.
Kentucky is led on the opening tip. Loway whips it out to Brea. Robinson. Garrison inside. And when Mignon steps in, he does a nice job to be able to force the hand. Brandon Garrison. Commodore's going to get it back.
Well, that's where Brandon Garrison's just got to get stronger. He's 6'10", 250 pounds. Chris Mignon just had more heart. He timed his jump, but Chris Mignon, 6'5", 215 pounds. If you're Brandon Garrison, you take your time, nice strong dribble, and put him in the rim.
Mignon can be disruptive with his defense. Boy, Huffman a great job to not go over and back on the pass from Hogarth. AJ gets it back and was bumped by Colin Chandler. And Mark Pope looking on his team with a 1-point advantage, talking with Pat Adams, Jeb Hartness, and Lee Cassell, part of this veteran officiating crew tonight.
Roy, the one thing that I've noticed is the struggles for Kentucky to get passes to guys when they need to be there. And that's the absence of a point guard. That's why I think Coach Mark Pope, he's going to have to run more sets tonight to put his guys in position because the guys are open. They have advantages. They're just not there quick enough.
Hogarth knocks down Chandler, and Vanderbilt grabs its first lead of the night.
Yeah, just wasn't enough contact for Colin Chandler. Again, that's a freshman continuing to learn on the job right now.
7-0 run for the Commodores, who lead it 31-30. And over the back of Garrison is Mignon. He's going to pick up his second.
Yeah, that's another example of them running a set. I don't think Vanderbilt can stop them in their sets, but here you see Colin Chandler. That's just not enough. The officials aren't going to call that. I like the no call and give credit to A.J. Hogarth for going up strong. He's got to stand his ground like Amari Williams did against Jalen Carey earlier.
Hogarth, a physical player. Oway, athletic inside.
Well, Mark Pope is a savant. They work those sets, but once again, in transition, the Commodores trying to get out early.
And Chandler gets the ball back. Against Hogarth, throws it up and a foul called. Boy, back and forth we go. The action has been fast and furious between these two. Don't blink.
Yeah, it was interesting because we spoke with Mark Byington and we said, what are your thoughts on the opportunity to be able to sweep the Kentucky Wildcats? And he said, sweep. He said, we're not worried about a sweep. We're just trying to get a win.
You asked that question. I was like, oh, here it comes. I knew how he was going to answer it.
That would be huge in his first year. I mean, the type of turnaround that he has had at Vanderbilt is as good as anyone in the country. And so if you are able to knock off your rival Tennessee and sweep the Kentucky Wildcats, you're talking about an incredible year on your own. But at the same time, he said everyone is playing for something. Kentucky's playing for seeding, and we're playing for our NCAA tournament lives.
Chandler buries the second. He now has a season-high 7 points. Mark Byington also said something very interesting. He said, we actually played better against Tennessee on the road than what we did at home, but we didn't win. He goes, the wins are coming. He really believes that. But I found that to be an interesting take, given what happened in Nashville against the Vols and what happened in Knoxville this past weekend. Edwards, no. Carr climbs for the rebound. Ray off the screen, the step back. Noah had it for a minute. Edwards comes down with it finally. Yeah, part of the reason Commodores 1-4 in that 5-game stretch post-UK, well, the schedule's been absolutely brutal. Jason Edwards is going to shoot 2. And you can say that about a lot of teams. You look at what Alabama's got to face coming down the stretch. But here's Vanderbilt going back to that upset against Tennessee. 4th-ranked Bama, 9th-ranked UK. Road trip down to top 10 Florida. And then number 1 Auburn, number 5 Tennessee on down the line.
Sure. I mean, it's, as we said, it's opportunities mixed with challenges. But as Mark Byington said, they're playing better, but everyone else is playing better too. So you got to find a way to win some of these games.
I thought Edwards was shooting on the way up. This crew will say he was not. So no free throws. McLaughlin.
Good pass.
To Carey. Well, you mentioned it earlier, grown man basketball inside for Vanderbilt.
Yeah, Kentucky defensively has to find a way to keep the basketball in front of them. As we mentioned at the shoot-around, the first thing Mark Byington said was they were going to be aggressive and they were going to attack the paint. That's what they're doing.
Carr outside to Noah. Trent Noah. Carey picked up by Williams. Approaching 4 to play in the half. Edwards is launched with less real estate in front of him so far tonight. Huffman gets it back. Noah clears. Travis Perry back on the floor. He'll pull a 3.
If I'm Mark Pope, I don't mind that shot, though. Travis Perry has the ability to knock down shots. I don't think you lose anything taking that in transition. This is the end where they have to do better. I like the way that the Commodores, though, have been attacking the paint. I continue to go inside if I'm Vanderbilt.
9 to shoot. Tanner gives it up to Carey. Picked up by Williams. Mid-range is too strong.
You notice how there's not a lot of push, though? That's the sign of the point guard being missing from Kentucky.
Corner 3, no. Commodores get it back. A chance to regain the advantage. They led briefly at 31 to 30. The team at 17-8, 5-7 in the SEC. Edwards splashes home with a mid-range.
I think Edwards can get anything he wants. If he has the opportunity to face a couple of freshmen like Travis Perry or Trent Noah, he's going to have a successful game. I don't think that they've shown the foot speed, and particularly Perry, but Trent Noah has size, so may be able to do a little bit better.
35-34, Vanderbilt leading. 17th ranked Cats, Jalen Carey coming off the bench. He's averaged almost 9 and 6.5 rebounds per game, but the handoff from McLaughlin. Commodores out at front in Lexington.
We've all gotten good at stirring the pot. You know, maybe we find time for a little pot luck. Yes, bring those red beans with the andouille, bring pastas and kielbasas, and seriously, we all can't just get along for a few hours? That's a crock. You just gotta go gloves on, Johnsonville in, finger pointing off, and keep it juicy.
Jump to the jam, boogie woogie jam slam, bust the dialect, I'm the man in command, come.
We're Mizuho. Sound familiar? It should. Because we help tech companies build a more connected world. Bringing a microchip powerhouse to market? Mizuho was there. Arranging the acquisition that will finally give millions high-speed internet access? That was us too. So if you're looking for a corporate and investment bank as a partner in your next deal, you already know our work. Now you know our name. Mizuho Americas. A name worth knowing.
Shaq. This is the land of legends. The places, the faces, and moments. We've seen the confetti fall again and again, but we're not done. It's time for the next generation to make their mark and go from 14 deep to 16 strong. It's a whole new ballgame in the SEC, and it just means more.
What's up, y'all? Coming up at half, we'll get you ready for Bama at Missouri. Monster matchup in Como. Also a little SEC bubble talk. What are you seeing in this one?
Vandy doing the damage in the paint. That's how they get the lead.
Damian Fishback, what give me the best conference road win of the year so far?
Ooh.
That's an easy one. Florida at Auburn, where Todd Golden and the Florida Gators look like the best team in college basketball, candidly. Auburn was able to make the gap a lot closer towards the end, but Florida Gators and Todd Golden just really dominated that game from start to finish. And my guess is, Patrick Young, that's why you asked the question.
Keep in mind, too, that was before Micah Hanlogden came back to the court, right? I mean, that was a week before he returned after last Saturday's win at home in Gainesville against South Carolina. So you add another big to the mix. You're going to get Alex Condon back healthy.
Yeah.
You've got some other guys returning for Todd Golden. That is a team to be reckoned with, right? Damian Fishback, Roy Philpott here at Rupp Arena. 35-34. You got Bama, Missouri. Mizzou, they talked about that monster matchup. A slight favorite at home tonight. Oweh draws another foul, and it's going to shoot 2 more. It's Kentucky against Alabama coming up this weekend. So a monster matchup there. And should point out a shout out to our good friend Dick Vitale, who's going to be part of the 3-man booth for that contest. And Oweh was fouled by Carey. That's his second. But we saw the good report from Dickie V earlier today. Fish on social media. He went in for his regular checkup, and everything looks great. And so he is all systems go for Saturday. I can't wait to hear one of the all-time greats back behind the mic.
He's a pioneer in our industry, and obviously you see now this is Otega Oweh's 26th straight game with 10-plus points, and we mentioned it earlier, longest streak by UK players since Malik Monk, who had 30. But I like the call from Coach Mark Pope out of the timeout to get back towards the basket. Kentucky started 8 out of their first 10 from the field, and since then they went 2 of 11. And I think one of the reasons is because they settled. They can shoot plenty of shots from behind the three-point line, but most of the time those percentages go up when you touch the paint first and then spray the basketball out.
Edwards rejected by Oweh and slammed out of bounds. And even Otega loved how that felt.
Well, we talked about the ability of Jason Edwards to get to the paint, and Otega Oweh, that's something else that I think he could really do to take it to another level, is improve defensively. He should be a leader on this team, and that's what he's doing now.
Nickel on Brea. Williams comes over, help side. Another rejection. Nickel gets it back. McLaughlin in another fresh 20. Tanner. And finally, Williams claims the rebound. What is it like to block a shot the way that we just saw Otega Oweh execute that rejection?
It feels great. Seems like you're flying high for a while, but in a game like this, you better come back down to earth really quickly because the Commodores are coming at the Wildcats every trip.
Lockton maintains possession and then gives it up to Brea. Cats by 1. Williams finds a way up and in. So Amari Williams with 6 and 5 rebounds.
He and Janai Broom are about the best that I've seen, both southpaws, in going to that right shoulder. If they go to their right shoulder, it's almost a guaranteed basket.
McLaughlin from the corner. That's been his spot. It continues to be. And we are tied at 38. And Mark Byington wanted a timeout. Hey, don't forget, coming up Friday night, gymnastics, our doubleheader. It's back here on SEC Network, the ESPN app. Top 10 showdown between LSU and Kentucky here in Lexington. That's up first at 7 Eastern. Then Auburn and Alabama at 8:30. Friday Night Heights returns this coming Friday on SEC Network, also on the ESPN app. Fish, this feels like a continuation of the game we saw in Nashville last month. It has been fast-paced, exciting, and back and forth down the stretch of this first half.
Yeah, only difference I would say is the fact that the Commodores went into the half with a double-digit lead, right? 14-point lead when they were at home as well. But I do like the way that they're attacking the paint, putting pressure on the defense of Kentucky. On the other side for the Wildcats, who is the bigger team, I'm actually surprised that they haven't dominated the glass a little bit more. Kentucky's losing the rebounding war by 5, 16-11. And rebounds win basketball games. Mark Pope mentioned us. He said that Vanderbilt has gotten about 100 more possessions and 100 more field goals than their opponents during SEC play. Well, rebound is one way that you prohibit that from happening.
They also, of course, turn the opposition over.
Sure.
They've done a great job in the steals department to help set foundation for those stats. Perry swatted out by Williams, and Oweh will retrieve it right near midcourt.
That's a prime example of offensive rebounding. And in the SEC, I don't know if any conference does better at tipping the basketball.
Is that an official stat somewhere, tipping the basketball?
Oh, that's a stat.
Williams, the slam, and the foul.
Now, where did that slam stem from? What we were just talking about. Additional possessions off of the offensive glass. It's almost like you get rewarded. Devin McLaughlin, he tries to reach on that other side, and absolutely no help that time by Tyler Nickel or Tyler Tanner. Somebody needs to step in there, but it looks like both of those guys made a business decision to step aside.
I mean, they want to continue to cash checks at a later date. I would support that idea. That's just me.
Yeah, the Drexel transfer, who had a triple-double earlier this season, seems to really step up to the forefront along with Otega Owe, probably their most consistent player.
Yeah, Drexel, most Kentucky fans know by now, the CAA Defensive Player of the Year 3 straight years. Now in the SEC, the triple-double earlier this year, and the emphatic slam at the end of the first half tonight. 4-second differential and change between the clocks.
I look for the ball to go into Jason Edwards' hand at some time to make a play for the Commodores.
Outside to Nickel. Edwards gets it back after the rebound by Huffman. Jason Edwards, no. Nickel again. McLaughlin, yes! Right before the horn, count the bucket.
And that is the story of the first half. Offensive rebounds, 8-2, go to the Commodores. That's the difference in the first half of the game, but the Kentucky Wildcats still up by 1.
41-40, and they're going to take a look at that last shot by McLaughlin, as we will as well. Popped out to Nickel, who found McLaughlin. He got rid of it pretty quickly and clearly before the buzzer. First half that saw 3 ties, 4 lead changes, and the Cats lead it by 1. Let's get you back to the studio and Peter Burns for the halftime report.
Thank you, Roy. Pat Bradley, Patrick Young. I'm Peter Burns. Welcome to the SEC Halftime Report. That felt like a monster bucket for Vanderbilt over in Rupp Arena. And there's a lot on the line for a lot of these teams as we get into the stretch of SEC play. As you see, Vanderbilt game tonight, of course. Last 4 in Oklahoma. We saw them. We got Arkansas playing a little bit later. And then Wake Forest not playing tonight. But
those 3, they need some wins.
They do.
They need some wins.
This would be one of those wins.
Oh, yeah.
PY. What did Vanderbilt do that impressed you to get back into this game? They were down 6.
I mean, overall, I think Vanderbilt, you answer. Why is Vanderbilt able to be so close in this game? They're taking really good care of the ball. Mm-hmm. They're getting to the paint. Could be defending a little bit better. Obviously, Kentucky's 12-12 from the line, but this Vandy team, and they're willing sometimes to speed it up. We mentioned that to do things outside of their norm. And defensively, Kentucky started out really hot from the 3-point line, and they've slowed them down. Like right here, you never see Vanderbilt get the ball up so fast as that. But when you want to win on the road, you got to do all those things.
Well, for Kentucky, we know that they're going to shoot a lot of threes, right? They got great spacing right there, great timing. But really what they've been able to do is get out in transition and get to the free throw line. So as much as Vanderbilt has dominated the paint on drives, post-ups, in transition, it's been Kentucky getting to the free throw line. There's one thing, though, for Kentucky. If they want to get out and win this game, you've got to protect the paint better. I mean, right now, you're sitting at Vanderbilt with 20 points in the paint. So that's going to be the thing that will decide Kentucky how deep they even go in the NCAA tournament is their ability to defend the paint.
Dude, yeah, exactly. Look at that last possession.
In screens better.
Like,
be able to defend screens.
Kentucky, a possession for Vanderbilt needs to be one shot, defensive rebound going the other way. You allow Vandy to stay on the glass, keep tapping the ball out, getting open shots. Like, they're going to stay right here in this mix.
Watching this second half, right? Vanderbilt spreads you out. They play 5 out. They play a high offense. Their curls multiple times. Vandy guys are coming off that open for either a layup or a little stop and pop mid-range. Kentucky's got to blow up those types of screens.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, offense isn't their issue. It's defense.
But you see the 8 offensive rebounds right now for Vanderbilt. What's keeping them in that game? McLaughlin, 11 points, 41 to 40. Jason Edwards, that shot is always kind of fun to watch.
That's an 8.
No alarms tell me when to snack. Nice try, Kevin. So my advice? Stop looking for advice. And if you want to grab a snack, grab a snack. Who's hungry?
The game is changing, but what drives the game never will. What you have inside.